What's going on, everybody? This is SafeWord, the platform for teaching, learning, and opening the eyes of our audience to the world of kink, BDSM, and relationships. I am your host, Mr. Kane Marcos.
And I am your second host, Ms. Aurora Storm.
And I'm your co-host, Mr. Remy DeBow.
And I am your second co-host, Ms. Sasha Lyncher.
So, if you watched our last video, we brought up something kind of new, right? That we're going to be introducing, right?
Yes.
And so if you watch the video, you know what it is. If you don't, then I guess you better stay tuned to the side and figure it out.
That's what you better do.
Or go watch that video. Because what, Remy? The link to the video?
Because the link to the website and extra content is in the description below.
This motherfucker sitting over here doing his like lab results homework
Remy's
and
halfway
shit.
here today.
Yeah, I'm literally like writing notes and stuff like that. Oh, okay, that something popped into my
Fine
mind.
by the seat of our feet. But while you're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all your kink news or education news around kink, BDSM, and relationships.
Relationships.
There's Irish on me.
So this is, hold up, let me fix my bun. Safe word. And here on Safe Word, we have a safe word of the day. We use this safe word to stop, halt, and completely put a pause on all topic of conversation. That bun is not making my friend. Okay.
Get your hair together, lady.
Get my life together. So anyways, the safe word of the day, crew, when we like to tell everybody what that is. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So.
Oh.
I feel like we used the safe word before.
Nah.
Nah.
You sure?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Hey,
All right,
if you guys disagree, you watch them right now, you disagree, and you say we've used it before,
You
drop
got
it
to
in
look through the
comments
videos. Let's see.
And if
who's
he's
paying
right,
attention.
if he's right, you can pick something for us to do. How about that?
Exactly. There you go. There we
You
go.
pick
So
something for
comment
them
below
to
do.
because the SafeWord Crew
For
gonna have
them
to
to
pay
do.
I
us.
shouldn't have said that because
I
deleting
know.
rented devices is
You
dumb.
always losing. Why the heck you over here suggesting we lose?
Roy gonna be on it. Roy on it. He like, hold
I
up.
know. Roy's already talked. We already know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
We missed somebody out. See, good job.
I never
but wait,
disagreed.
real
Do I
quick,
have to do it?
real quick. I ain't done with the intro because here on SafeWord we use Zoom, and sometimes Zoom has audio issues. So if you are saying the safe word like souls, ooh, my crew is good, and nobody stops, halts, pauses, completely just cuts it off, we have a symbol we use. Safe word. Can we show everybody what that is? 1, 2, 3.
Sultan.
So throw that symbol up if you're saying the safe word and no one's stopping, and make sure you say the safe word of the day, which is soul, so everybody knows what it is. Mr. K. Marcos, do we have hot topics?
Yes, we do. But first, let's say hi to our roll dog, the guy who's been here since day one.
Yes, sir.
This guy is just, he's our #1 fan. He's awesome. He's amazing.
Super awesome.
So let's all say hi to our favorite fan, Roy. What's up, Roy?
Hey, Roy. I know, we don't have a sound deck soon. We're going to play that. Bow, 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 bow.
We're filling it in though.
But for right now, we do it
Are great.
you know. All right, so Mr. Kane, I know you got some hot topics. Well, I'll fix my bun.
Well, actually, I only got one thing tonight. It was just the most interesting tidbit that I found. I didn't do as much research this week as I usually do, but I did happen to find this gem in an article published on August 26th from the Northern Illinois, University. Found that BDSM can help increase mindfulness, reduce stress, make you hyper aware, and help you stay in the moment. So I think it's awesome that they're still doing, like surveys, studies, putting some science behind all of this and really giving, kink, BDSM, and fetishes, the notoriety that they deserve for the benefits that they do have, instead of just, portraying us all as some dirty, rotten deviants that, ain't got no mama or home training.
For real. Because I have
that is very interesting.
I have training in the Dom word from my mom, so hey, double-edged sword.
And a lot of y'all are in the community and just don't know, but that's why we're K2. What you got, Mr. K? What else?
Is that how you
Actually,
got
that's just it that I had tonight. I mean, just
Yeah.
that
Oh
one
wow,
survey.
that was
Oh
short,
my
brief, and to
God.
the point
One
right
I love
there.
how we're
Okay.
all surprised.
short
Like,
to the point.
I'm just tired of getting rushed
Right.
off the stand. So, you know,
Hey, I'm usually like,
We
what?
let you have the floor last show, man.
like it's showtime at the Apollo. We're like,
Thanks.
like, okay,
You need to get off.
it's just like as soon as Aurora says, like, hey, Ken, you got any hot topics? She pulling out that Dave Chappelle, wrap it up, like just
Right.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. I
You
need a
done
button.
yet? Are you
Wrap
are
it
you done
the
yet?
fuck up.
Wait. Are you done yet?
Are you done yet? Are you done?
All right,
all you got
everyone.
for us, Kate?
Are you done
Anything
yet?
else you got for
Are
us?
you done yet?
nope, that's it.
You want
We're
more,
good.
Kate?
We're good. I ain't salty.
Good job,
All right,
Kate.
everyone. Thank you, Kane, for the news. Let's get into our fetish of the month. This is a new concept that SafeWord is introducing where we highlight a certain kink or fetish of them for the month and bring it to our audience to help everyone and bring it understand and explore all this community has to offer. We are going to start with having a little fun. We are going to be sharing some foot fetish related stories
Yeah. Let's get into
and that
this.
we found, and we're going to talk about it and see what it's all about. So let's start it off with Miss Sasha Lyncher.
Mm.
I'm neat, but why?
But why?
But why? Well, you know what? Thank you, Remy. But tonight I found some really cool stories, and I learned some cool facts about the community through these stories.
For foot fetish community. Yes. Let's talk about feet.
Found some
Talk
things.
about it.
Okay, so this one is not so bad, but it was such a letdown. My friend and I were drinking and playing Truth or Dare. And before we started playing, I noticed that one of my friends was wearing some ankle boots with some tights that had some really smelly feet that night. Like I could smell her feet from where I was standing.
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
okay. So when it
Wow.
came, but wow.
But wow.
That's some stanky feet, baby. You want to go to a podiatrist.
Mhm.
So when it came time for my dare, she read a random dare from an online list. Wait, what? Blah blah blah. Sorry.
No, no,
She was reading a
That's
random
probably
dare
how he
from the
reacted when he
online
smelled the feet.
list she was using that said, "Smell the feet of the person next to you." I was so ready to do it. Like that insanely that's so insanely lucky, right? So the cute girl with the smelly feet just so happened to be sitting next to me. I got that dare. But when she said, yeah, no, I don't consent to that. And I had to be like, okay, I'm glad I didn't have to do that. Haha. So close, I could still smell her feet. And when we hang out to this day, she's been in her shoes all day. I get so close to smelling them. I get up and close. Can I get an F in that chat, fellas? Like fuck. So what do you guys think of that? So he was turned on by the fact that her feet smelled.
I mean, it's a fetish. It's definitely a fetish. And I don't
that's
know if
different.
anybody has it. But for me, I know if I can smell your feet while I'm standing, boo boo, then I'm.
See, like me myself, I can appreciate another foot, but I have my own issues with it. But you got some cute toes because it's rare. But yeah. So what did we think of that one, y'all? Was that a fail?
See, I could understand somebody having pretty feet, something like that. But if the feet is kicking like a tsunami, yeah, I don't want to be around that. Like I can't. Like I will every time I look at that person, I will smell feet, and it's not a thing. Like it's not okay.
That sounds almost as bad as freaking Marcus from Boomerang when he would pull back the sheets.
Yeah, he would check the toes. He's like
hammer time.
She got the hammer time.
I thought the bump on the shoe, it was like an old shoe, but no, she had bunions on her toes.
And I had to get him out of there. He had to.
That's my movie. I'm sorry.
I'm about to go watch that.
That's true.
Okay.
That's like after a 10-mile hike in some combat boots.
Oh God.
Man.
Oh God.
Yeah, you must not have wore your
with that sock with the hole in it right underneath the big toe.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
no.
always got that one sock that's just, like, oh,
And
this
you,
one.
Here we
you
go.
walk,
Marine Corps
and,
buddies about
and
to
you
bond.
walk through a
Marine Corps
river.
buddies about to bond.
Anyways, okay. Are we ready for the next story?
Yes, let's go to the next
All right.
story.
Okay. So my worst experience had to be getting caught sucking my friend's mom's toes while she was asleep. I had got too
What?
carried away.
Wait, pause right there. You're not just gonna skip past that. All right, you ain't gonna just run through that like that.
There was
Oh
no
my-
consent involved in this.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
but-
I think there's a little CNC action right there. I
My
don't know.
worst experience had to be getting caught sucking my friend's mom's toes while she was dead asleep. I had got too carried away as it was only my second time getting to worship feet. And she woke up with her big toe in my mouth.
Oh,
All my other worst experience would just be me not taking a shot and asking a woman to model her feet for me on the spot.
what the hell do you want? So, my safe word on
Wow.
there was no consent. You didn't ask. You gonna put the woman's feet in your mouth while she's sleeping?
She woke up with my big toe in her mouth.
Cojones. Some massive cojones.
The audacity.
I want wait. So did I miss something? Like, how did she react to it?
Oh, we skipped that part.
Oh, we
All of my
skipped that.
other work experiences would just be me taking a shot and asking, just be me taking a shot and asking a woman to model her feet for me on the spot. So he's just
He
crap.
doesn't
That's
say,
what
he
it
doesn't
sounds
say
like.
what it is. He doesn't say
He
what
ain't,
your
he ain't
action
say he
was.
got kicked in the face. Or
Oh,
no,
Right,
he
was
like a
like,
what?
what?
that she woke up with the toe in her mouth, and he says all his other experiences is just asking a woman on the spot to model her feet. So he sounds just crap. Like, give me the feet, girl. Like, hey, girl, hey, girl, hey, girl, let me see your feet, girl.
Hey, girl,
Hey,
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 no.
you with the red hair.
Oh,
What the
hey,
toes
shawty,
do? What the toes do up?
Hey, Mr. Remy, I'm gonna need your.
Yeah.
Oh my
nah,
god.
it's more like yerp.
Yep, there we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank
That
you.
East Coast
I knew
yerp.
if I did it, you would do it, because if she just asked you, you wouldn't have did it. But if you had to one up me, then you would have did it. See, boom.
Yeah, but boom. Mic drop.
Big facts.
I'm learning you
Big
now.
fact.
I'm learning you.
You don't know
You
nothing
ain't
about me, right?
slick,
You don't know me.
Marcus. Marcus.
Marcus Darling.
So do you
All
guys
right.
want me to give you one more?
Yeah, give us one more.
Or
Give us one
y'all
more.
like my stories, huh?
I
got
like
some
your
good
stories.
ones. Okay, and I got the game tonight, so y'all better stay tuned, because you know. Anyways, okay. So my worst experience was when I saw this beautiful brunette in the park. I did what I usually do. I compliment her on her footwear, etc. During our conversation, I offered to rub her feet. We just met her. Okay. I offered to rub her feet, and she happily said yes. I slipped her sneaker and her socks off to find a pair of beautiful feet. So far, so good. As I was rubbing her feet, I edged them closer to my face. This is creepy. And started kissing her toes. And I just met her in the park. We gonna dive in that.
We're gonna dive
Okay.
into that.
So I started kissing her toes. And as I was rubbing her feet, I edged them closer to my face and started kissing them. As I was doing that, she said she loved having her feet kissed. So I moved to sucking her toes. And that's when the big disappointment came. The only taste I got was the taste of her sneakers. No foot scent, no taste, no toe jam, nothing. It was like I was sucking on her sneaker instead of her feet. That's a time I would never forget.
I'm sorry. I love Kane's face in the bottom corner. He's all, what the fuck?
Okay,
so first
Go.
thing first, I'm sorry, you just met this woman in the park. You know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If you're here for it, at least she gave you consent. You asked. She was like, okay, let's do this. But what the heck? You just met this woman in the park.
that is the truth.
Why do you
like,
expect to taste anything else but sneaker when
That
you've
is-
been walking around the park?
right? That is oh god, that's the definition of closed mouths don't get fed.
Those must have been brand new shoes. I'm just saying.
Right?
Right. or some Payless shoes. They smell like turpentine and vinegar and plastic. Like, what in the basement burn center did you do?
Okay. All right. Mr. Kane, you awfully quiet. What you got to say on this story, man?
He's
like, I can't.
No, honestly, like when you're reading the story, I'm just like, oh man, lucky bastard. Like, damn. Like, yep, that's how you do it in a park. And then when it's just like, I was so disappointed to not get like a bad foot taste, just tasting shoes. I'm in my mind, I'm just like, well, send her my way.
Right.
No taste, no toe jam, nothing.
Nothing, man.
See, I've got a foot fetish, but I'm not in it for the smell or the flavor. So like, I understand a lot of people are, and it's just not for me. So when I hear about them, I'm just like, all right, cool. Like whatever rocks your boat. So your disappointment is my pleasure, I guess, because that would be the perfect experience. My luck though, is I would see a, smoking hot brunette. She would be down and I would start getting down on some toes. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh man, her feet were kicking. Like it'd be that chick with the Uggs at the party in that last story.
Trash.
It's like you meet somebody and they have a hat on and you get ready to like, we're about to hook up. It's like, bro, you ain't got no hairline.
Right. Nothing. You're got a receding widow's peak. That's not
right.
Okay.
How you got these cute feet and it smell like hammer time?
Right. At hammer time.
I'm like, can you clean your toenails? But yeah, I noticed that I learned some things that like people, these were both around smell. I didn't even mean to do that. And consent, how to ask for consent and how to not ask for consent. So I learned about smell being a thing and learning that consent is always important. So that's the end of Sasha's story.
I gotta say, like the embarrassment level of not getting consent has to be reason enough to always want consent.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
After you shall receive.
Like I can't fathom or imagine just the sheer. I'd probably die. Just have a stroke out right there.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that second story. I think the second story bugged me out a little bit.
Bugged you out?
That was it right there. I don't think I got a follow-up for that one.
I think I dropped the mic already.
Tonight, honestly, because I know what I'm bringing. But hold up, I got something for y'all. First things first, this one is a personal story. I ain't reading this from no, nothing someone sent me, nothing like that. Okay. This is not personal with me. This is personal with my boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was back in college. This dude had a foot fetish, right? And he was like, telling us the story. He's sitting down. He's like, I got this foot fetish, right? I finally got my girl on board. And I was like, we need to do the footgina. And so all of us are sitting in the freaking dorm going, footgina? What's a footgina? And he's like, when the girl sticks her feet like this, and then you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's a footgina. But he was saying, he was like, okay, so that does do it for me. And I like to be able to touch her feet while I'm doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
But it didn't feel enough like the real thing for him. So what he had his girl do was they took a Ziploc bag, one of them industrial size, Ziploc bags, freezer, cut the zip off of it, taped it to her feet, filled it with petroleum jelly, and heated that shit up.
Oh, he did like a jail mess right
He really made a vagina.
He made a vagina. But the best part is he's like, my dumb ass, I didn't even check the temperature, yo. I just started going to town and that joint suction cup to my thing. And he's like, I had burns around my.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. Rug burns from petroleum jelly.
No, he didn't check the temperature. And I guess when he stuck it in, because of the plastic and stuff and the petroleum jelly, it just suction cupped around his junk.
And he tried to pull it out.
And the whole thing came with it. And he's pulling off skin trying to get the freaking bag off.
Wow.
Yeah. He ended up having to go to the hospital and stuff because we were giving him shit because he was walking funny. I'm like, what's up with you, dude? You look like you just got off a horse. He's like, yo, you really want me to tell you the story? I was like, yeah.
That's crazy.
So vagina became a thing. So between all my college friends, that became a thing. Yo, you done some vagina today? I'm just saying, you got down on the vagina today?
A
We need to do
vagina
a
today will
segment.
get you to the doctors right away. That's what's gonna happen.
We need to do a segment or something where it's like where when keeping it kinky goes wrong.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Facts. Exactly.
Another
God.
kink fails. We got to do another one of those.
Right. So I mean that's that one story of a foot fetish. That was honestly my first experience with someone that had a foot fetish, right? And was like open about it. He didn't care. He was like, whatever, like, you know, I'm down, whatever. This is what I do, is what I like. And so he told us this whole story. And there's probably 6 of us in this dorm room, and we are dying. I was like, so that's why you walking sideways? That's you didn't like.
I mean, like,
Is it good? Are we good? Nothing.
you learned that when you were a kid, when you make hot chocolate. Like, let me figure this out.
Let me, you know, if you got a baby, you know to shake that bottle on your wrist, see if it's hot. Like, come on.
Man, yeah, he was so hot. All right. Hot and bothered and impatient.
He was too excited to get in the vagina. So, you know, don't be too overly excited. That's all I got to say. All right. So I got so check the temperature first, please. Okay. I know, because people are gonna go home and be like, girl, I learned this thing on this show. We need to tape a Ziploc bag to your feet.
But how did she not tell with her feet that it was too hot? Because if it was too hot for that,
I don't know. Like,
there's like different, so there's different nerve endings. Like, you know, your feet can handle a little bit more heat than, you know, something as sensitive as your nether region can. So
yeah. Yep.
Okay, I mean, I live in Arizona. I can walk on the hot concrete, but there ain't no way I'm slapping my junk on it. Like that would be just terrible.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I got another story. Y'all ready for the next story? That one was just kind of okay.
Resume.
She's just like throwing out the safe word. Okay, so
if y'all paying attention.
Are y'all ready for the next story?
Yeah.
This one is one that got sent to me, okay? Mm-hmm. So he goes, I have a personal collection of fetishes, but my relationship to foot fetish has been quite strange. In real life, feet naturally disgust me, okay? He said, feet that you'd consider pretty are probably disgusting to me, and feet that you consider ugly make me want to throw up. It's even worse with footwear. I always wash my hands carefully after touching my feet or footwear, as well as the floor, and absolutely hate it when others do it without washing their hands afterwards, even my girlfriend. Yet I find foot fetish in hentai to be extremely hot and have a collection of it. My foot subjectories of various themed hentai, okay, as well as that from my random unsorted hentai collection are huge and among my favorites. I find drawn feet, anime style, but not ugly Western comic style, okay, anime style only, cute and hot, and love those socks and hentai sock banging too, right? The only thing I don't like is when they are drawn to be dirty or anything but release on them, right? Or smelly with an air blob around them. He can't handle that, okay? Maybe it's because I know it can't possibly smell or be dirty, yet I'm very well aware that the reason why I like it is that it's supposed to be dirty. Is that wrong? This man is confused. I didn't know how to answer him. This is why I'm bringing it to the crew. I did not know how to answer.
Super particular, meticulous.
No, that's OCD.
Right, because he goes on to say, as foot fetish porn, I found only a select few instances hot, much less than 10% of what I've tried. Does anybody relate to this? Have you ran into anybody that relates to this? No. Okay, now here's something that I can add to this. You're saying no, Kane, but I mean, not on that level, but I know there are people that do not like their feet touched. They do not like having your feet are gross, like no, but they will participate in a foot fetish for someone. So on the other end of it, like somebody, you know, willing to participate in a foot fetish, like if their partner or their significant other has a foot fetish, they'll do it, you know? Even if they think feet are disgusting. Okay.
Yeah, I've even known people who they like to see feet in certain positions, but they don't like to see them in shoes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were good ones. That was dope.
Yeah, that
that
was
was a
The
kerfuffle.
very interesting.
The
I-
closest
I've got one more if y'all are ready for it. When
the
y'all
Yeah.
closest thing that I can relate to on that is I had a friend of mine, his wife absolutely hated feet and just like couldn't bear him, couldn't stand him. She couldn't even stand her kids' feet. Like just the mere like appearance of them were like, nope, nothing. Hung out with them a couple times, like they had a pool, so like we'd go over for like pool parties and everything. And whenever like she jumped in the pool, she's not in like shoes or socks or anything. She'd be barefoot walking around. But then whenever she was getting out of the pool, like whenever she's sitting around casually talking, she does that thing where it's like you have to, she's
Tuck
tucking
away
them
her feet.
away or like sitting on them, putting a towel or a blanket or something, whatever. She's always just trying to cover her feet. And I just remember thinking that it's like, well, and it was like, my buddy doesn't have a foot fetish, because if you were with somebody who couldn't stand their feet like that and trying to introduce a foot fetish, I mean, they would get automatically shot down. And so it was just like, oh, that'd be like, that was the only thing, was it led to a series of thoughts in my head where I was like, man, that would be a shitty situation to be in.
Yep.
You want
True.
it so bad, but it's always hidden. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, imagine he had a foot fetish and you got to live that way for the rest of your life. Dang, that sucks. Unless
It's like
you keep private.
everything is good, like check all the boxes except for the last one where it's like, check this if you're down for foot fetish. No, like, damn, close to perfect.
All right, so y'all ready for? Okay, so this is kind of like a two. There's a story, and then there's
It's a
another part to
twofer.
it. A twofer, okay? Because it's literally about somebody that has a foot fetish, right? But like takes it to a whole nother level. Okay, so okay, so this person's in college. She used to date somebody that was in high school. Okay, all right. So they used to get really intimate and had sex frequently, and sometimes got pretty kinky. When he finally came out as a foot fetishist, I was a little creeped. Like, I didn't mind rubbing him with my feet, but he kind of escalated things. He covered my feet with custard and licked it off and almost released, okay, on the spot. The weirdest time was intense. We were having normal sex, and I thought it would be great. I thought it was great. But he seemed out of it and just stopped altogether and went to the bathroom. Not long later, I heard him from my room and thought he might be sick. So I went in after him and saw him yanking his chain. Okay.
Imagine you did the motion.
Right. The thing was, he wasn't watching porn or anything. Instead, he had smeared Nutella on his own feet and was just staring at them. So basically, my
That's
ex,
productive.
by the way, he's my ex, had such a big foot fetish, he got off to his own feet. Now, let me add to this, okay? Because this was this dude's response. I have a really weird fantasy that I like to fulfill by giving myself a foot massage while playing the last mission on the video game Evil Genius, where you play as a villain launching a doomsday rocket to take over the world. I like to annihilate the 12-minute countdown and imagine myself as a villain getting his feet worshipped. I've played it enough times that once it's close to launch, I rub my big toes and release just as the rocket lifts off. The buildup is so intense, and it's how I achieve my orgasm. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Goddamn, I love kinksters. I love kinksters.
So for some people,
my deviants, I love you guys.
So when people that be vanilla, this sounds like a crazy story, but in my line of work, this is not a crazy story. This is very basic. This is very, very basic. Like, if they can't get their foot fetish fantasized, fulfilled. And a fetish is something you need in order to release. It's not just a fantasy, like in your head. You need this in order to release. So if you ain't getting it from your partner and your partner's not doing what you need to do, you gonna look at your own feet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, it's like the person looking at porn, but they love girls in heels that keep their shoes on. It's like, yeah, you're going to find it somewhere. If you can't get your chick to keep her shoes on, you're going to find a chick wheel somewhere.
That's kind of dope, though. Like, your sexual fantasies are attached to you.
Yeah.
You just walk around.
Oh, and Miss
horny
Sasha,
all day.
Mr. Roy has a question. He
Who?
said, "What do you have against those of us with barely any hair on top of our heads, Sasha?"
I didn't say I had a problem with anybody with hair on top of their heads.
That was in cap locks. That's why I read it like that, just so you know.
Yeah. When did I say I had a problem with hair on their heads, on people's heads?
Receding hairline, like you date somebody with a hair.
Shut up, Roy, stop. I forgot I even said that. Child, you don't get a pat of hair. Hey, I didn't say I didn't like it. Like, it's not an end all be all. But I'm like, I used to be bald myself. If you guys want to see those pictures of me modeling bald, go see that. But no, I don't have a problem with bald people or receding.
She's like, hey now, hey boo.
I was like, well, I got widows. So you can't hate, you gotta participate, honey. There's 5 head. Let's go.
Okay, so what, like getting back to this story, what do we think about this story? Like, because the girl was like, I don't know where to go from here. Like, it was weird. I walked in on my boyfriend, and then he literally responded in the same text message thread, because like she tagged him. Same text message thread. This is what I do. This is what I like. And this is what I really go down for. So me putting Nutella on my toes in the bathroom was nothing because I needed my video game. Okay.
So my rocket ship could blast off.
Rocket ship blast
off. I don't know what to say to that.
I just love Kinkster. Just like that.
I'm just mad she tagged him in it though.
Like, yeah, absolutely. That level of commitment to I can only release when I do this. That's great. Like, just
beautiful.
Bravo, good sir. Bravo.
He's pinpointed
like now because it begs the question, what do you do with a partner? Like, how do you what is your attraction to a partner then?
Right. Yeah.
No, my question is the partner like getting off from that? Are they enjoying that? Like, where's their pleasure come from?
Yeah. Like, what's their play in that? Like, if you were to try and introduce, like I said, if you have a partner and this is the only way that you can release or get off, how do you incorporate a partner into that scenario? Like, how do you?
He don't need a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently don't need one,
Yo,
so in the story, they didn't specify the nature of their relationship.
That's all you need.
Because what if they're poly and like he just happened to be with this person and being intimate for whatever reason? It's like, no, I need a feet today. Like, I need all feet, and it's not it. So maybe they have a mistress or a goddess that they go see for that. So anyways, that's
or maybe they got all feet lined up right next to me, right here.
Right, let's go. Right, line it up. Yep. Summertime.
You got mayonnaise, you got Nutella, you got syrup, you got
honey Sunday. And each foot has different.
It's a foot Sunday.
Honey, stepping in bananas is another big thing. Like the toes going through bananas. Oh, that's a big thing.
That would actually feel pretty dope.
Pies.
Yeah. Yep. Cakes, pies.
Oh, I was like, what do we do? I was like, maybe I'm fat. I was like, what is
jelly-filled donuts.
What about all them people that used to
jelly-filled donuts?
What about
Kate's on a tangent. He's like, we talking about my favorite thing.
You gotta wonder, like, are like the wine, like people that make
yes,
like, the crushed grapes.
They make the wine. They stop the grapes.
They probably got some foot fetishes there.
They probably do.
And they get drunk at the same time.
Well, I don't like feet per se, but I do like dainty things and how they look. So I love like pleasers. I love like stripper shoes.
Right, like a foot in a shoe is beautiful.
Yeah, I will admire my feet because I have pretty feet. However, don't touch them. Let's not do not.
We're gonna save that for the Patreon. I'm gonna put you on pause. We're gonna save that for the Patreon. That's all coming for the Patreon because I want people to understand that there can be a freak out with your own feet. There can be a freak out with feet in general, and then you still will participate in a foot fetish. So if you want to watch that, you got to join Patreon. So Mr. Remy, let's move this show along. You got a story for us, one or two, something. Give me one.
I do.
Yes.
So
all right.
Read a funny story on a forum. The first time I was caught with foot porn, I just told my mother, yeah, I have a foot fetish, and that is my porn. And she replied, well, you are definitely of my blood. And I was so confused and decided not to question it. So about a week later, when I went onto the computer and opened up the browser, a bunch of emails she sent to her boyfriend were open with her doing foot fetish stuff. And once I was nearly done puking, I saw a little sticky note on the side of the computer that said, if you don't want me to see your stuff, please hide. If you don't want me to see your stuff, please hide it more carefully, or you have to deal with my stuff. Love, Mom. This is why you hide it very carefully.
Or have an open conversation with your partner. I mean, come on.
Man. Nah, that was the mom.
This is his mom.
Okay, mom. Okay, but still, regardless, this is why this channel's here. You need to learn how to have open communication. So I don't know. Just be like, that's what I'm into. Like,
he addressed it and claimed it, but then she retaliated. Like, she petty though.
That's a little messy. That's a little messy.
That was a poke at, but hey,
that's
now you know they got something in common.
Walking in on your mom and she's spread eagle and you see that because you probably saw her vagina. So it's just as bad. And he likes feet.
Vagina's gonna be a thing. Vagina's gonna be a thing within the that's gonna be the next safe word. Vagina.
Vagina.
What did you have to say, Kane?
Nothing. Not a
you have something to add to this. I want to hear it. Go ahead, add to it.
No, so like that needs a little bit more context because for one, where were you leaving your shit at that your mom found it?
Right.
Because I remember, being a teenager and everything. I had my shit, like Fort Knox wasn't secured as safely as my shit was. Like,
it's called that incognito browser. Look it up.
It's not like he's young and he was doing that in AOL.
So I mean, like, where was your stuff that your mother found it? And it's like, if it's like, if you have a home public computer, like there's an office with the only computer in it, then you better have a badass cell phone or something.
Right.
You don't do it on the main.
I even knew how to delete my searches, search history, clear your cache and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather be questioned about why I have a clear browser history rather than what's in my history.
Right. Yeah, real talk.
Ain't there for a reason.
Like, there's so many excuses to that. It's like, why is your browser history clear? Like, I was looking for gifts.
Why are you all in my business?
Like, Mother's Day is 8 months away. Mind your business.
Got it mapped out. That's sad.
Yeah. You're so cute. You gotta respond.
My shit.
I would just say, mind your business.
Mind your business. For real. For real. You don't need to know what I'm into. That was a good one. You got another story for us? All
right, I got one more. Now, this one was actually on the news. All right, so this guy is called the Toe Suck Fairy.
The Toe
He was arrested. He was arrested for foot fetishes, and they explained. So, an Arkansas man identified as the Toe Suck Fairy.
So, just real quick, when we jump into the pit, because this reminded me of a story, but I can't share it on this page. I gotta wait till we get onto the other one.
Yeah, we'll go to Patreon. He'll share the story.
But just remind me to tell you guys about the Phantom.
Oh, we'll remember that.
Oh, we won't forget that one, the Phantom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget that.
If you want to find out about the Phantom, join our Patreon. I will put that link up at the end of the show.
So I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt Brother Remy, but
yeah, he had a flashback.
Yeah, I had a non-flashback.
Flashback.
All right. So an Arkansas man identified as the Toe Suck Fairy was arrested Monday, September 26th, following a series of incidents in which he allegedly approached women in stores, commented on their feet, and asked to suck their toes. Michael Robert Wyatt, I probably shouldn't say that, 50 years old, previously served a prison sentence for similar shenanigans. I'm mad they call it shenanigans, but okay. Last time, he even pretended to be a podiatrist in order to fondle and suck a woman's toes at a clothing store. Though criminal cases are rare, foot fetishism itself is surprisingly common. Academic studies have prevailed, blah, blah, blah. Sigmund Freud claimed that people sexualize feet because they resemble penises, is the term. Today, more scientific theory comes from a neuroscientist, director of the Center for Brain and Cognition. Dang, I'm like blah, 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 all day. Wow. At the University of California, San Diego. He solved the mystery of foot fetishes while studying the brain malfunctions that lead to phantom limb syndrome, a condition where amputees, blah, blah, blah. He found that the syndrome resulted when a person's body image map. Why are you telling me about this when I'm trying to find about the foot fetish? Different brain regions failed to erase part of the map that corresponded to the amputated limb. Okay, here we go. They accidentally rewired the map in a way that caused the person's phantom foot to become sexy. Phantom foot patients reported feeling sexual pleasure and even orgasms in their missing feet. And
I actually read that study.
That kind of is the end of the story. How did they get from the toe suck fairy to to a phantom limb sexual? Yeah, it jumped on me.
That's like
I started reading. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be hilarious." I'm gonna let it go.
There was a continue here somewhere in the middle of that.
Right? Yeah, like click this so that you can find out about the toe suck fairy.
Right, man.
We're just gonna give you his name. We'll let you troll his Facebook after that. Go.
No, I'm pretty sure he's not on Facebook. He's probably
Google him.
He's probably locked up in the real central booking.
Yeah, for real. What's his name?
His name was Michael Robert Wyatt, 50 years old.
3 first names as a name. That's already a red flag.
Actually, this was 2011. So
you don't got no last name, sir. You are McLovin.
Already a red flag. You got 3 first names. I can't fucking
Michael. Mike or William.
Michael John Leroy. What? Huh?
I'm just mad it was a news story that turned into an academic study.
Right? Yeah. Okay,
and
so
that's no other terms.
Remy's officially fired. I'm gonna take some comments real quick and break this up just a little bit. So Mr. Roy says, what would happen with the guy if he was just playing the video game without the feet? So the story that I told where he was like, I rocket launch, rub my toes together, is good. Like, what would he like if he didn't? It would happen without the feet. Would he still release? That's a good question.
Not without the feet.
He gets when he approaches the rocket ship part, then he got excited, and then once the rocket ship blasts off, his toes touch.
Well, here's the deal. Like, if he's done enough time with his feet, and this is just speaking from a professional mindset,
psychological aspect.
Well, the things that I've dealt with in my life, okay, being a dom, if he's played it enough with his feet, right?
Psychologically
cognitive reconditioning.
Yeah, cognitive reconditioning. You hear the sound, you smell
cognitive conditioning.
Right. So you could literally train that. I mean, that's part of Tantra. We'll be getting into that come season 3. But that's
I got a story for that.
Yeah, that's part of the experience that you can actually make somebody release without physical touch, without visual stimulation, without any of it.
Well, and so that's the thing that, like Remy was touching on with the study that they did where it was a phantom limb. And so I don't know if anybody's heard about it. If you haven't, it's pretty like self-explanatory. People that have their limbs to begin with and then lose them will still feel like they feel a brush of air against it or their hair stand up where their missing limb used to be. And it's just because, again, like that thing in your brain that there used to be something there. It used to have these types of feelings. And so it kind of occurs at random. But when they did this study, they found out that you can really recondition your idea of what the nerve endings in that phantom limb were just by really like focusing, thinking about it. And so if you have a stimulus, like, so there's women who actually do enjoy having their feet worship because it does give them a sexual gratification kind of pleasure from the feeling, from the motion, from the touch, from the texture, all of that stuff. So whenever you have a phantom limb, yeah, those things can no longer physically happen, but like just to kind of make it easier to understand, it's easier to imagine something happening there and stimulating the nerve endings that aren't there and still receiving the same kind of mental gratification, even though there's no touch involved.
True.
There's a fly attacking me. Don't think I'm tweaking on y'all.
Why wouldn't he talk? He looked like you're a newscaster. Like you're being interviewed by a newscaster. So Dr. Marcos, tell us about this. Tell us about this.
We don't need you to loosen up.
Right. Why does it always
so the phantom limb?
Like y'all gotta reposition. Like, let me get off of. So what we about to say is
right. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have a psychology book in his hands.
Yo, he be going off. He
Dr.
really
Marcos on our show. It gives us
facts.
credibility.
Dr. Marcos.
You guys know it.
He's like, wait, how many credits? Like 2 credits away from being Dr. Marcos. So let's just let this happen. Dr. Marcos, would you like to take
We just gonna call it is, yeah.
Marcos.
All right, now moving right along. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
You're up. Batter
well,
up.
no.
So-
Wait, well, there's no moving along because now we would love to hear some of your stories.
No,
there.
here, wait, hold on real quick.
Dr.
Got
Marcos.
Got another comment that
Okay.
I don't take time to cut out and do the comments, right? So
Right.
here's the comment, all right? So Kane really wants to change his name on these lives to toe sucker fairy. From Roy.
Damn.
I think you hit his soul.
Right.
But I thought.
Got him. What is it? Got him.
Combo.
All right. So
Finish 'em.
hold up for just a second. So we were talking
Sasha.
about this foot fetish of the month. Okay, so the fetish of the month, kink of the month for September. Okay,
Mhm,
is foot
mhm.
fetishes. So that's why it's our safe word. But Mr. Kane,
Oh no.
I've heard you say a couple things tonight
Yeah.
that has lead me to believe
Mhm.
that you might have a foot fetish, sir.
A little
Oh
something,
no, was it
something.
when I admitted that I have a foot fetish?
When I said loud, you are
Not
not
to
letting
mention
him
that
out
Like
you guys
of
verbatim?
Wonder.
If you ever watched the intro video, okay, Kane turns around and says, Kane Marcos.
Soul.
Souls. And I spelt it souls, like a soul, play on
Yes.
words. Anyways, but Mr. Marcos has a foot fetish. So I thought it would be really great if Mr. Marcos is down. Okay, Mr. K. Marcos, are you down for the crew to ask you some personal questions, maybe about your own personal foot fetish, right? Because
Hell
for
no.
me, I'm not into feet, right? But I like to understand why people are into armpits, people are into elbows, people are into pinky toes, people are into your pinkies, you know what I'm saying? Like there's all these different fetishes out there. But one of the fetishes that's actually very, very, very common is foot fetish, right? And there's different levels of foot fetishism. But do you mind if the crew asks you some questions pertaining to your foot fetish?
Yeah. I'm down. I was gonna do a Patreon post about it, but
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
you still should.
Yeah, you still should. I think you should break it apart.
well,
So I'm
one
not reading my
question each.
stories?
How about that? So we can save some more.
Yes,
Patreon.
definitely read your stories. I think
Do you
should
have
read
some
your
stories? Do you
first.
have stories?
Yes, of course he
I'll
does.
go with the story. I want your story.
Well,
Tell
it
me.
kind
You
of
told
just
me you
got,
didn't have no stories, so I was just gonna ask
All
you
right,
questions.
you got one story. Let's hear
well,
it.
it just kind of coincided with this because I don't really have. I didn't look
That's it
anything
for
up.
you, sir.
I actually have personal experiences.
Okay, cool. I love
Yes.
it. Let's go. Bring me some stories, boo boo.
All right.
Mhm.
So awkward situation, right?
Okay.
I was
Bang,
hanging out. I was in ROTC in high school.
Okay.
We
That's
had just
close.
gone and done a volunteer event, and when we were coming back, I made friends with one of the other guys from another ROTC, and he was saying, like, dude, like, just where do you live? Like, where are you from? Told him where I was at. We lived pretty close, and he was like, dude, you really gotta come over and like hang out and everything. We'll play video games, all that stuff. I'm like 15, 16 at the time, so it's like, all right, cool, down. head over to his house, or we get back to the school after our volunteer event. And Wade already kind of situated, worked everything out to where I was just going to go straight over to his house. His mother was picking him up, so I was just going to roll with them. And so he thought it'd be funny as hell. He was just like, do you know Spanish? And I go, yeah. And he says, just speak Spanish. And he says, like, don't like just freak my mother out. Like, how did you make friends with somebody who doesn't speak English,
Right.
kind of thing.
Okay.
So I get in the car and she starts asking me questions. I'm answering in Spanish and everything. And she's asking her, like, what did he say? And I'm just thinking, what do you think he understands? Like, if you don't speak Spanish,
If
your
you don't
son
know,
don't
how
speak
does he know
Spanish. Like,
something?
how, like, what's in your
How
head
does he
thinking-
understand shit?
Yeah, like
That's
neither
your
of you,
friend.
like,
You understand it somehow.
You
and so
understand
now I'm just
somehow.
having fun with it. And I'm just like, you guys are kidnapping me, like just playing around. So finally her son is just, like, hey, no, I was just playing with you. I start speaking English to her. Everything kind of like plays out cool. We get over to their house and we're hanging out. His mom starts talking about how I don't even remember where she worked at, but she said that she was on her feet all day. Now I knew that I had a foot fetish back in elementary school.
Oh, hey now.
And so I start making, kind of sly comments. I just met this dude, literally that evening. And now, I'm making a pass at his mom, and I'm just, I'm just kind of being like nonchalant about it. I just say like, hey, well, it's like, I wouldn't mind giving you a foot rub, and this chick absolutely takes off into her bedroom, comes out in some booty shorts with lotion, like a foot balm and like some oils and stuff. Like she's just got a whole kit. And I'm sitting on the end of like the sofa. This chick just comes and literally doesn't sit down politely, doesn't, like swing her legs over, just in midair, just like from the middle living room, hops and is vertical and lands in the couch and throws, lotions, oils, and bottles at me.
Yes.
And so, and I'm just,
oh, you nasty Marcos from now on.
Nasty Marcos.
So this other dude that I actually, this other dude who like introduced me to his mom, and thought that we were going to build a lasting friendship and everything. Just like literally my first time over at his house, I'm rubbing his mother's feet. And, I'm trying to do my best to control myself because this is a dream come true.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm rubbing her feet. I'm giving her a foot massage and everything. And just, glory behold, she's a moaner.
Oh no.
And so she's laying on the couch while I'm rubbing her feet and she is just moaning, just in the most sexy, just awesome, like just
having a flashback.
Having
a flashback right now.
Meanwhile,
he hears the moans in his mind right now.
Telling the story.
So,
his eyes closed and everything.
So my bad. But her son is sitting on the love seat next to us, and he's just.
You're never coming for video games again.
That ain't right. That ain't right. You did your boy so wrong. Rubbing his mama's feet. That's wrong.
I've been trying to be over there every weekend.
I mean, I consent, so I mean, I can't really hate on you.
She did a Ric Flair dip into the couch.
She fucking here's my feet.
Like, here's these feet.
It's been a while since these toes been touched.
Here you go.
Jumped, I swear it just jumped. Like her bedroom was like way over here. And when you walk out of like the bedroom door and come around, like there's the open living room floor plan, and the couch is up against the back wall. She came running out of the bedroom, barely hit the carpet, like in the middle of the living room. And like, I swear, just jumped and was vertical when she landed into the couch.
No.
Like, I promise you, had there been a coffee table there, I swear she would have vaulted it.
She was ready. She was ready.
Down, so down.
She's about to teach you so many things, young man.
Hell yeah.
About to teach you so many things, young man. Let me show you.
Right. She's gonna break you. She would have wrecked you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
She already did.
She did.
She's like, here are these feet, here's these booty shorts, here's your whole.
I know Kane's like,
she knew what was up. She was like, here you go. Mama gonna learn you today.
Yep.
And Kane's just sitting there like,
oh yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
ma'am.
He hit her with the Kool-Aid. He said, oh yeah.
So I'll finish the rest of that story on the Patreon, but just to let you know, I did return for several follow-up visits.
Damn. Just
I'm
damn.
I'm pretty
Just
sure
damn.
you rose to the occasion.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure you lost a friend. Did you lose a friend?
No, actually, that was the funny part. Is so we go to that happened like on a Friday, so we get through the weekend. Him and I had like exchanged numbers prior to even like showing up at his house, and so was ended up just like texting, hitting him up, and everything. Was like, hey man, sorry about last night. You know, like my bad. Do you still want to hang out or something? And he was down, but he was just like, yeah, my mom's not here. Sure, come on over. Like, damn. So yeah, I did return for a couple of follow-up
I think
visits.
he liked you.
Don't have him as a friend anymore, just kind of lost contact. He moved around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he did move around a lot.
And he had way too common of a name. Like I can't even find him on any kind of social media so that I
Trying
can
to
see
find
like
his
how his
mama. Don't
mom's
lie.
doing.
You trying to find his
Yep.
mama. You ain't trying to find him. You trying to find his mama. You like, where his mama at?
I wonder how her feet aged.
I'm not gonna-
I need to give her a massage.
You know what the bad part is I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember her name.
Oh, damn.
Ooh, a baby
Dang.
hoe.
Yep, you was a straight how.
Like I knew his name and I just was just like, I was respectful.
You remember the
ma'am,
dude
yes,
name,
ma'am,
but
no
not-
ma'am.
Okay, all right.
All
I'm not gonna
right.
say-
All right. Don't even remember the girl's name. Damn.
I'm not gonna talk bad about you.
That must have been your
Like
your
this
little
boy.
sneaky.
Yeah,
link.
you
That
keep
was your
your ass in
sneaky
your
link.
glass house well the hell away from my glass house. You better shut the hell up.
No one's throwing stones. I was taking a look through the window. I was like, okay, that's
Man,
interesting.
People
My
in glass
glass
houses
house don't
shouldn't
even
throw
got
stones,
glass no
Remy.
more.
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, Remy.
Just look through the
Shoot.
window and mind your business.
Let me tell you, them stones is gonna fly right past my house because it's nothing but
whole
open
house
air.
goes
It's just them windows is now frames. Okay, thank you.
Blown off the hinges,
Yeah.
off the rails.
Okay, so we
Not
got a
even
little
doing
off the
anything
rails.
to me.
Okay, do you have any other stories for us? Because that was a good story.
That
Well,
was
I got a gang of
good
them shits,
story.
but we'll save it for another time.
All right, we'll save it for
Oh,
Patreon.
yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
the deal. Kane, you got foot fetish. We got questions. You got answers.
Yes.
So let's tackle this. And let's start with Miss Sasha. You got a question for Mr. Kane? He said he's down.
What do you think is your most unique fetish that you have about feet? That makes sense?
Yeah, so like reading through the forums and reading through like everything the stories that you guys read tonight, talking about just how different people do like just engage in their foot fetish. I feel like nobody will ever have the exact same foot fetish as another person.
Okay.
Even though it's super common, it's really like you're looking for two similar snowflakes. Like everybody's going to have something that they're different with, and you'd be surprised. Like you really have to talk to a lot of people with foot fetishes, and for one to understand that, like, damn, everybody's foot fetish is different from everybody else's.
Yeah.
And two, to realize that you have no idea how particular people can be about their feet or their foot fetish until you start talking to somebody with a foot fetish. And I mean, like you get down to, like they like wrinkly soles, soft soles, warm soles, cold soles, which are two completely different things.
Sound like
And
the
your
devil
feet
here.
respond differently to temperature. So like much the same way like a guy, when it's cold out, you know what happens to a guy when it's cold out.
Go away.
Same thing.
Go away.
Same thing happens to like a woman's feet. Like their sole becomes a little bit harder, a little bit more drawn in. The skin tightens around them, so the wrinkles really leave the soles. And whereas a warm sole will be a little bit, for lack of a better word, like looser and more pliable.
Mm-hmm.
We got scientific with this shit. I'm just
Right.
They have
Well, and
more
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's just like to
skin.
be.
looser and
More
pliable. Damn.
So
Yeah,
for,
it's like it's more malleable than the skin being tough. So it's like
Yeah.
it moves a lot better. It's a lot
Yeah.
sleeker. It's like a polished foot. When
Okay,
it's
so
warm.
here's the deal. Like, here's a good question. Is it cold or warm soles that you're into?
it depends. It depends. Like I never really
Depends on
dabbled as
that-
much in like
the weather
cold
outside.
sole, just because I don't see a visual difference. I can honestly say, personally, I prefer like the warm sole, like the that's where, like, when you were reading that story about the dude with the chick in the park where she took off her sneaker and everything, that's
you
like
were into
almost
that.
perfect. That is my perfect foot fetish right there. It's just like, you can wear a sneaker, I can take your sneaker off, your sock off, and I don't have to worry about your feet kicking.
Right.
Because like I mentioned earlier, I'm not in it for the smell or the flavor. And so people that really like that toe jam taste, or, you know, like that sock, that 3-day-old sock flavor or something, that's all the thing. And people are into it. It's just, you know, it really varies from person to person, how they're into it and for what reason.
So then, Mr. Marcos, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is it that you're into with feet?
Is it the visual,
Is it
the
sole?
smell?
Is it the arch? Is it in a heel? Is it,
yeah, what's your favorite part of the foot?
Flex? Is it toes spread? Because some people like the toes spread. You know what I'm saying? Is it flex? Is it pointed? Is it in a shoe? Like, what part of the foot does it for you? And what is it about a foot? Like, what is it? Like, what are you attracted to?
So like dry and cracked feet aren't really my thing. I don't really like discoloration between like the sole and the top of the foot. And like, that's just like when you have like dry callus to where you get like that white flaky kind of thing going on. That's not cute or anything for me personally.
Not to cut you off. So is it like the two-tone part? Because I know I'm melanin rich. It's not like
no, not like a two-tone, but just like a
that if dry skin where the sole starts.
No, so it's like if you're taking care of your feet, like a well taken care of foot.
This part gets all ashy and crusty, and then this part gets all ashy and crusty.
Yeah, so it's that, like when you start seeing skin flaking off or whatever, like that does it for me. It's like, nope, we're done.
Fly.
It's crying.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get this fly, so I swear I'm not tweaking. This mofo is like a boulder.
All right. When did you first figure out you had a foot fetish?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, but leave that limited, because here's the deal. Y'all want to hear the full story. And then
give us the age.
On the Patreon.
Write that question down so you can use it for.
You look like you had it written
let's
down.
say how early did it start for you?
4th grade.
Oh, damn.
And if you want to know how and figure out why, join
so
us
around 7 or 8
live on Patreon. So
yeah,
because we got to get in depth with this on things that we can't say here on YouTube. That's why we switch over to the Patreon, just so that everybody knows. Like, I'm just not trying to rob you of your stuff, but I ain't trying to get banned. Okay.
Yeah, I was in 4th grade when I realized that I was in 4th grade when I realized that I liked feet. I was in middle school when I realized why.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
You knew they made you tingle, but you didn't know why it made you tingle.
Right.
It was like it was almost honestly like getting an erection for the first time and just like not knowing what's going on or something, but just like, hey, that did something. There was something that they talked about a long time ago where it was like what ASMR does, how it gives you like that tingle and like that feeling of something like creeping down the back of your neck, and it's like really comfortable and entrancing. And not to say like it was on the same level as that, but it definitely like triggered something in me to where I was just like, hey, that now has my attention. It had my curiosity, and regardless of what was going on around me, I kind of tunnel vision towards, you know, what was there, and I never understood why at that point in time until a little bit later. So
it's like at that age you just kept saying, okay, I know this did this, but will it do it again? So I bet every time you're around something like that, you're like, oh, it's the feet that make my little butterflies fly.
And honestly, like from that, like I couldn't tell you I can tell you like what happened when I realized I was attracted, but I couldn't tell you what the attraction stemmed from. Like I study psychology and everything, and I'm still trying to work on my own brain to see what part of, you know, the foot fetish psychology, you know, that really triggered it for me. Like what's the root of it? What's the cause of it? Was it a traumatic childhood experience, you know, like so to say?
Well, it could have been. I mean, maybe it ran in the family. Maybe like just like that other person, like the story that I told, it might not have been that deep, but maybe a parent might have loved wearing like fancy shoes and getting their feet done and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Special care to the feet.
If they took special care and really paid attention to their feet, it might not have been a fetish or anything, but you probably seen that as like, oh, that's
The standard.
that's what they do. That's what it's
So
supposed to be like. You know what I
So
mean?
this leads into a really good question. Okay, the next question that I have for you, which is, let's see, how do I word this? Like,
Can she smack you in the face with her feet?
no. I'm just
no.
trying to form it right so that we don't,
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. So is it
Do you play with the foot gina like it's a foot gina?
No.
Oh, okay. I think
No.
that's what she wanted to ask. Was it
No,
right?
that's not at all.
Okay,
what
that I was wrong.
Do
I
you
was
mess
wrong.
with the vagina? No, that's
You just
Well,
not.
no,
wanted to
no.
ask that
Okay,
question.
so like
I did want to ask the
almost
question.
everybody with a foot fetish, that is kind of like unless like your foot fetish is more isolated towards just like a visual aspect of like trying to see some feet in like high heel shoes or even like a nylon fetish, but even you're gonna find like a handful of people with a nylon fetish that honestly don't want to touch anything. They just like visually seeing something.
It's a turn
But
on.
almost everybody with a foot fetish does enjoy the vagina, just
Okay,
not so
so-
much with
Heels
the
can be
block
sexy.
band.
I figured out how to word this. Okay, so like how guys have an attraction to legs, butts, boobs, right? Would you say that your foot fetish attraction is the same? So you can see somebody's feet, like, because some guys will see a pair of boobs and be like, oh, holy, I motorboat the and I ooh and they could literally
This
be
is
like,
true.
in the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Oh, I
see
don't know about all that.
or a pair of butt or something. Well, I don't know that that they're gonna go that far, but it's that attraction. Here's the deal. Would you see someone's feet, okay, and be like, damn, her fucking feet, fuck her face. That's cool. We can get down because your feet, like, would you do that?
Yeah.
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 Word. Wow.
Okay, so the attraction
Like, so-
is as deep as somebody that's into like legs or butts or boobs.
It's like a guy like dealing with the butterface, like she got dumb body, but
Right?
butterface.
Yeah. Like I was trying to figure out how to word it so it didn't sound mean. You know what I mean?
Do you pull butterfaces but with feet?
No, and like honestly, like if you're a part of like a foot fetish community or like foot fetish forums, or there's even like apps like Tumblr and Bumble for like just foot fetishists, and the profile picture is a foot, so you don't even see what the person looks like visually, like what their face or what their body type is, and that's what their profile picture is. That's what they lead with, and so you really form for lack of a better word, an attraction just based on a foot, and then the conversation, and then it's very seldom, 9 out of 10 times, you'll build up an attraction so deep that it won't matter what the person looks like. And it's very rare that you'll run into somebody that's not like blind date status, or it's like, oh shit, man, you'll never believe what showed up to my blind date. I mean, like, it's really hard to catfish somebody with somebody else's foot. Like, that doesn't really happen within that community.
Okay,
so
but
the foot you're looking at is almost guaranteed to be the foot that you're going to get.
But is it like Boomerang? Okay, where
yeah, absolutely.
He couldn't get down with her because it was hammer time on her toes. Like if
absolutely.
feet are fucked up, you can't get down.
The way you are with feet is the way I am with teeth. It's not gonna happen if it's not right.
All right.
Wait,
Cool.
so if she wears socks, you can get down.
What if everything was perfect and she wore socks?
Exactly. Like, hell no.
Nah, like no.
No. Okay.
Like, so dating
that's
somebody
that's my thing. Like me personally, like you asked earlier, like about the uniqueness of like my personal foot fetish. And that's what it is I don't do smells. So like smelly feet are a turnoff for me. Like janky looking feet, like I personally, I know that there's a fetish out there, so don't think that I'm knocking anybody else for having a different fetish or a different opinion of this than I do when it comes to this arena. Just my personal preference is I don't like bony feet.
Okay.
So it's like if you can see like their metatarsals from the top of their foot, like the bones as it like goes into the toes, if you can see bones on the top, it's more than likely going to be a deal breaker for me, especially if like it's straight up Skeletor status.
Yeah, no.
So
like the lady's hand in Titanic.
This is just a Skeletor status.
Yeah.
Thin skin Skeletor.
And the other thing is just like a lot of ladies, and it's weird because like anybody, like doctors and everything, always say like the healthiest way to cut your toenails is to square them off, because it reduces your risk for ingrown toenails, foot pain, things like that.
Right.
But my attraction is actually based more on a rounded toenail than it is a squared.
Okay. And why,
And
do you know why?
only because for me, in my personal experiences, I have, like, I'm not someone so petty to where it's just like, oh man, like everything, like you hit all of these bullet points, but you got square toenails, so never mind.
Right. That's done. It's done.
It's like, I'm not even going to entertain a conversation with somebody if, like I'm not attracted to their feet. So like having a good looking foot for me is like,
you haven't even seen my feet yet though.
Like an absolutely necessary to continue on like trying to date that person.
I think we have pretty good conversations, sir. So we were friends.
What is going on here?
So we were friends.
I'm lost too.
Throw something. I need it. What?
I'm lost too.
So don't y'all ever say Remy has a crush on me again, okay? Thank you. We already know right now, okay?
See my feet though, bro.
I knew it.
No, he said no.
And that's all we have for YouTube tonight.
I worked off of the section where he said he won't even entertain a conversation if the feet aren't. I was like, wait, you ain't even seen my feet.
I can't with this conversation, souls. Okay.
Okay. I had somebody walk past me just now saying they don't even want to see him.
Do you have another question for him? Because I do have another question. Okay, I do have another question for you. Okay.
I'm ready to go to the game. I can't wait.
Right. I'm scared of this game. I'm trying to keep this thing going right now.
This is my last question, and then we'll move questions and answers and story time to Patreon. Okay. Yes. But here's my last question. In a relationship, how long do you wait to tell somebody about your kink or fetish, right? Your foot fetish. And can you be with somebody that doesn't want to have their feet worshipped or doesn't want to do a foot fetish, something or other?
So let me put it to you this way. Emma Stone, I have a foot fetish, and if you're not down, it doesn't happen. Sorry, I'll move on.
Damn!
What?
Damn!
What?
He said Emma Stone, I'm sorry.
What?
And with that, Kane dropped the mic. That was the mic drop of the evening.
It's like, it might even be fun for a night, but it's only going to be fun for you because you ain't down with what I'm down with. So I'll literally be there just for you because you ain't there for me.
Right. Well, okay,
you're welcome.
And that really, honestly, let me leave you guys that are watching this. That honestly is the key point to all of this. A fetish is something that somebody needs in order to be attracted, in order to release, in order to move forward.
At the very least, an open mind.
Right. But a fetish is something that someone needs to be able to release, to get off.
So when do you tell? So I would probably say maybe after they get their feet done, you take them to get their feet done, maybe that within that week, and be like, hey,
no, for real. When do you
your feet are beautiful?
Do you tell somebody like on the first date, the second date? Do you tell somebody after you're dating them for a while? Like, how do you bring this up? Because honestly, foot fetishism is still baffling to me, but still considered taboo. It is very freaking common.
I would say early in the relationship.
I would say
very early in the relationship.
I've had people hit on my feet before. Like I've had like a man standing at the store, like, you have beautiful feet. Did you just get your nails done? Or did you get your nails done? And keep talking and having a conversation.
I've said that
before. When he talks to me.
And you don't have a foot fetish, right, Remy?
Yeah, I've said that before to people. Like I think feet can be very cute, very sexy and stuff like that. But I don't.
No, but just the commonality. Like it's a very common thing. It's not something that's completely off kilter. Yeah. So my question is like, how long do you wait? Like if you're in a relationship, we're not talking like you've got a sub. Okay. We're talking you're in a relationship. This is a significant other. Do you tell them right away? Do you wait? Like, how do you play that?
Tell them right away.
So I'm not like opening up with, hi, my name is Kane Marcos. I have a foot fetish. Can I buy you a drink? Like that's not,
okay.
That's not the pickup line or anything.
Never know. That might work.
We have a video coming kind of like that though, but yeah, anyways.
You should try
so
it.
it's not like that.
And so like the process of it, no, not like that. So like the process of it is if I'm genuinely interested in somebody like that, you're gonna know that I have a foot fetish prior to us having the first night together.
Okay.
Because again, like the foundation of my fetish is that I don't want to call it like necessary, but it's absolutely 10 times more enjoyable for me if that is an option on, you know, when you're getting down. So yeah, before that happens, and it's not even something that's like, oh, first night, you know, busting through the door, lights are off and everything's stripping off clothes. And it's just like, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I have a foot fetish. No, like you're going to know prior to that. So that way, you know what to expect and kind of have a general idea of what it is to be.
And how do you break it to them?
But see, wait. Can I get a pause for a second? See, but you can kind of work in that foot fetishism without telling them too. Because if you know, you could just act like it's more like foreplay. You know what I mean?
What if that other person isn't into it? Is that like consensual then? Is that kind of creepy? Like you're not even asking, you're just getting off on somebody's feet.
I mean, you could be holding their foot right here while you're still done. You know what I'm saying? Like massage that
Remy's all about keeping it secret. Remy's like, just keep it on the down low. So like,
well,
just let me that would bother me. That would irritate me.
Play with the toes and stuff, like that on your shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
I've visited gentlemen's clubs and had private dances where, you know, a lot of times it's free of charge. And sometimes, you know, like them ladies is making their money. So, you know, it's no big deal, but it's just like, hey, can you take the heels off? And a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times they're down. Almost 99 out of 100 times they're down.
So you personally like it out the shoe? Because some guys like it just like they want to see.
Oh no, well, so I mean, I
know people who are exclusive only to a certain type of shoe. I'll tell y'all that question later. I'll tell y'all that to tell you.
So I like mules and clogs. Part of like my fetish is that, you know, I do appreciate a foot in a shoe, but it can't be like I don't do nylons. Nylons kind of kill it for me. I prefer an open-toed shoe. I'm not so much a higher the heel the better. I'm more like a subtle 2 to 3 inch heel is, you know, enough.
Damn, comfort wear.
A kitten heel.
That kitten heel. Yes.
Or like I don't know if you guys know what mules or clogs are, like the wooden sole high heel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, something like
the
that.
Chunky like sandal.
Yeah.
And so, and for me, it's when the sole of the foot is actually not like spilling over, but when like there's a slight, like you can see it from the side or the bottom of the shoe.
Ooh,
that's an attraction.
A conservative, you like a conservative foot.
Yeah, you gotta see it from the front. You know,
see the arch. So wait, so it's that arch in that foot, right? Like
no, it's actually, so for me, it's the sole, so but seeing an arch is like seeing side boob, you know, it's like you're close to the rest of it. And so now you're just like kind of mapping, like, all right, so I've seen the top, I've seen the bottom, I've seen the under. Now that I can pretty much graph that whole bit, I'm just missing the middle part.
Like when the shoe comes off, it's like, oh, she's naked. I see her titty, I see everything. It's like that when the shoe comes off. Okay.
Okay.
So it's like a woman who dresses modest, and all you could do is undress her, and she always dresses modest, but she got body. So when she gets naked, you're like, oh Jesus, yes, Lord.
Well, and also, I mean, like,
surprised you're not living near a beach.
That's it.
It's also like the thrill. It's also like the thrill of the chase. Is, you know, like it's one of those things where it's like for most guys, it's like I got the bra off, and don't get me wrong. I mean, like I love that sense of accomplishment as well. But there's also like a certain sense of accomplishment of like I got the shoe off.
Okay.
I got a question.
What you got?
All right, so you know how some people like to like shave their partner. Would you like actually do your partner's feet? Like,
I used to all the time.
Ooh. Okay. So like pedicures is the thing for you. You like to do pedicures.
I have a full pedicure set just on hand.
Nice.
I got the foot bath. I got 3 different kinds of scrubs, 2 different kinds of lotions. At least like a dozen.
His link to his social media will be in the description box below if you want pedicures.
He's putting together pedicure kits for sale.
it's gonna
link
be
to
the
the-
name of Kink Marcos.
Let
The
me
Kink
share a
Marcos
tasteful.
pedicure set.
Let me share something with you guys. I don't really like feet, but I love shoes, and I love seeing my feet in heels. I love walking in heels. I used to work out in heels,
Yeah.
but I'm not down for someone like Remy was saying, getting off on my feet. I had I'll tell y'all the story later.
Yeah.
But I don't like,
Patreon.
yeah, but I just there's levels to it. I'll go into it more on Patreon, but my feet look, I'm not turned on, but
you can
it's
tell
something.
she's frustrated right now. Just
I'm
thinking
trying
about
to explain it. Like, it's pretty, and like my body turns me on. I can't lie. I turn me
Yeah,
on.
but
So seeing my
there's a
feet in heels-
frustration that we see when you talk
Yeah,
about your
for real.
feet being touched or
Mhm.
looked at in a certain light. Like you can
Mhm.
see it in your face. Like
Mhm.
Yep.
It's
bothers
not
nose-
consensual.
Your nose start
It's
getting
someone-
wide like somebody mother.
Yep,
Like-
yep. Exactly. That was the
Saw me
mother look.
flip,
Just
so I was like trying to explain it, then you're like,
And
I
I
was
was
like,
having
no, I don't like
flashbacks.
people. Because I'll tell you guys the story, and like you'll understand why.
so join us on our Patreon if you want to hear that story for real.
And
All right.
if
So
you
does
wanna
anybody
see-
have any more questions for Mr. Kane?
None. We're
None.
good.
I think we questioned you out, boo boo. I'm sorry if
Thank
we
you
Yeah, I
for
think we-
sharing.
Did
I
we question
enjoyed
him
it.
for like a
Good
half
sport
hour?
and letting us understand what it is to have a foot fetish. And by the way, just so everybody knows, it's a very, very, very common fetish. So like, regardless if you're into smelly feet, you're into 3-day-old socks, you buy socks offline, you freaking just like looking at feet when summertime comes
sound
around and
of
sandals
heels,
are out.
The sound of heels, a woman walking in heels, a certain
Sound of
type.
heels.
like-
That's a big thing.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
huge
I
thing
love
for me.
the sound of heels.
Oh,
You did very well,
wait,
Dr.
Kane,
Marcos.
what did you
That's
say, Mr.
that's
Marcos?
actually a huge one for me. I absolutely love. Like I could listen to a 10-hour loop of high heels on a hardwood floor.
Damn, okay.
I love the sound of heels.
So y'all
I
want to
do
get Mr.
too.
Marcos off? Record your heels on a hardwood floor.
I
And
had
send it.
someone.
kanemarcos.safeword@gmail.com. Send me all of that.
Who did you
So-
send it my way?
So when I was training, when I was modeling, I would work out in heels, and I literally had a coworker who I thought was like, it was questionable what his preference was. But he said, I will pay you $50 if you record yourself. Like, you don't have to be naked. Record yourself working out in heels.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
Right.
and here's a
I
little
bet
tidbit of
you did it.
information. Here's a
No,
little
I didn't.
tidbit. I'm gonna do a shameless plug here. Here's a little tidbit of information. Okay. Y'all know that we started an OnlyFans. Okay. Mr. K. Marcos has one. Miss Sasha Lyncher has one. I have one. I think Remy's gonna jump on the boat. He's gonna jump on the bandwagon. We're gonna
Not
get it.
happening.
Okay, so here's the deal. We're talking about foot fetish tonight. That's our kink of the month, right? Miss Sasha, do you got a package that you might be offering on OnlyFans for people that might be into foot fetishes?
I do. Since I've shared my
Hey, I need
passion,
2 seconds.
I do.
since I share my passion for heels, like I like to share that on my Patreon. I love to get pedicures. I love to get my nails done. I like anklets and foot jewelry and stuff like that, but I do have some nice videos of that beautiful sound of heels clacking and all that stuff available on my Patreon. You're gonna have to
On your
click the link
OnlyFans.
below. So,
OnlyFans.
yeah.
OnlyFans.
well, I'll have some stuff on Patreon too, because I
There
have
we
a couple
go.
videos that will be there, but on OnlyFans and Patreon, click the link below, guys.
So
Do you have anything
definitely-
coming to your Patreon and your OnlyFans?
Right. So here's the deal. Like, we are taking this foot fetishism, pedophilia, whatever you call it, pedrophilia. It's not pedophilia. That's children.
Yeah.
But yeah, pedrophilia. So, anyways, if you have a foot fetish, we do have OnlyFans available, and I know that Miss Sasha's putting together a whole package for you. I might have something on there. You're gonna have to join to see if you can figure it out, because I got some things, but I'm a dom, so you're gonna have to see what I bring you. And Kane, I think, does artwork. He ain't gonna show his feet. So if you want to see Kane's feet and you're a female and you have a foot fetish fantasy, whatever it is, right? Check the video that we just did and we dropped this week, because you can see Kane's feet at the end of the video, right?
And use that for conversation starters. You feel like you're too shy, or you've never brought up the topic with your partner, or you're with a new scene, or you just hell want to figure out if you like it, there's plenty of variations of feet in that video. Please use it as like a good reference point. Just so like it's a conversation starter within yourself and within your little, within your play scene or situation.
Exactly. All right. So we're going to move it into the game. All right. So Miss Sasha won the last game that Remy put together, and we had no choice to play.
You did good. She did great.
Yep. And Miss Sasha won that shit. So Miss Sasha has the game for this week. So Miss Sasha, would you like to explain what we all have to play? And we don't get a choice. We have to play. All
right, y'all. So I love to play odes to game shows. I love it. So we're gonna take it old school. This game is called Whose Kink Is It Anyway? Ooh. This is gonna test the crew and their improvisational skills. We have hopefully come up with or researched or know some foot fetishes and some foot situations that people get into.
Okay.
Everyone will take a turn creating a portion of a story out of their word, and it will go round to the next person. So I'll say a word and make a sentence, and once I pause, it'll be the next person in rotation, and the story needs to be cohesive.
Okay. So the person that drops the ball loses, you're out.
Yes.
All right. So it has to continue on the topic of feet. Yes. All right. You don't necessarily have to have a technical term, but keep your story on the line of feet and pass it off to the next person.
So
Sasha, you started this. What's the theme for this story?
I'm so excited. So this is a foot kinkster, someone with a foot fetish on a blind Tinder. Well, not a blind date, but a Tinder date.
Okay, so this is it a guy, a girl? Give us the details. It
is a guy.
Okay.
Who did not talk about foot fetishes on his Tinder, and he is on a first date with a Tinder match.
Okay. Do you want to kick it off for us?
Of course I do.
All right.
So what's the rotation? Who goes after who?
You're next, Remy, then me. We'll do it like the square setup.
Okay.
All right.
Hold up.
You're after Sasha.
Okay. Damn.
Okay?
You better get
and then Remy to me.
All right. So this gentleman's name is going to be Marcus. Marcus is getting geared up for his date. He's heading to go meet his date at the restaurant. And while Marcus is on his way, he starts fantasizing and talking to himself. He's like, God, I hope she wears open-toed shoes because I can't wait to see her cross her legs and gives me a nice pose so I can take a sneaky look at.
I hope that under the table, she rubs her heel up against my leg.
Ram.
Oh, sorry. Oh. And as she rubs her heel against my leg, I can reach under the table and undo a buckle that'll slide some straps down.
But
no
I
feet.
No feet. Nope. You out. You didn't say nothing about no damn feet.
The straps are on the shoes.
It did. Okay, I didn't understand what you were saying. Okay, because I like reach under the table and unloose the strap. That did not tell me.
I knew what he was talking about.
Undo the strap. Okay, that's what I was thinking at first, but then I was like, man, this is a first date. I better not unstrap that freaking buckle. But the heel is on me, and that arch looking good because I looked under the tablecloth and I saw the arch, like the little arch hanging off the freaking shoe. I was like, oh, it's a peek of the side boob.
So as I calm myself down at the dinner table, I'm starting to profusely sweat. I start patting myself off, and my date asks, "Are you okay? I'm going to head to the restroom." And as she walked off, the clanking of her shoes made me only think of her in front of a foot wall.
In front of a what?
Foot wall.
Foot wall. Okay.
A wall of feet.
A wall
Not
of
a foot wall. A wall of feet.
A wall of feet.
A wall of feet. Okay.
Okay.
As I realized that my mind was going to some very strange places, I decided to avert my attention back upwards and hope that I don't seem too obvious about my secret fetish for her souls.
That was a good one.
Ooh. And as I stare off into space, I focus on her eyes. And then I get stuck and slowly start looking down at her feet again.
And she's walking off. So her feet are leaving. So goodness, gosh gracious, what other feet can I see? It's summertime. It's sandal season. Wait, hold up. Ooh, look at that redhead at the bar with her toes out. I mean, just toes out. We ain't talking like just a peekaboo on the toe. We're talking the whole, like we just one strap over the front part of the, all toes are exposed and pointed and arched.
And just as my mind was wandering off and scanning the restaurant, I look up and I see one of my close friends that knows that I secretly have a fetish. And as I look up and lock eyes, he waves and walks over. And all I could think is, please don't let him let me out of the Foot Locker in front of this girl.
Foot Locker.
I need to grab my charger. Hold on.
She dug that one out the crates.
But if he does out me about my foot fetish to this girl, then maybe, just maybe, I'll get to see her out of those heels. Hopefully she's down.
So my friend walks over and he has a sly little smile, only because he's been watching me look at feet all night.
So of course my friend says, what you looking at? What we checking out here? And I say, I just told you the story. You know my fetish. I'm looking at feet. You see that redhead over there? And he's like, yeah, her boobs are nice. I said, nah, her feet, her arches, son, her heel. You see the way it's hanging off? Them toes, perfectly rounded. Oh, Sasha ain't here, so you gotta fucking kick it off.
But I'm looking at my friend and I tell him her friend at the bar though needs to be on a perch because them feet is janky.
Ooh.
You better hurry up. Come on.
So he gets upset and he says, you know what? Wait till she comes back and I'm gonna see you.
Damn. Ready out. All right.
I lost.
All right. So where did you leave off? I'm gonna take it from yours. So she needs to be on a perch because her friend's feet are janky, right?
Yes.
Okay. Her friend's feet are janky, but that redhead, I might take her home tonight because them arches is everything. Them soles, they beefy.
Nope.
And here's the deal. My date is coming back to the table and my friend is here that knows I have a foot fetish and he's ready to out me. So
I quickly divert the conversation to an upcoming rodeo that we were going to. And he got totally off subject of trying to out me. So we're talking about the rodeo coming up and we start talking about lassos. And all I could think of was her feet, froggy style.
Her feet what?
Froggy style. Froggy style.
I wondered if she had a pair of boots with some thigh-high socks under some Wrangler jeans that I couldn't wait to see her in, but I couldn't wait to get off of her.
It's like a seductive striptease.
Ooh.
Pull off the boot, and you slowly take it from the tip and pull off the sock as it slides down her calf, her ankle, her heel, her foot. Oh, but I digress because this is just
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Head.
Stop. Put your hands on the table.
Get on that note.
Hands above the table.
Sure. So, but I digress because we still on this first date. And my man's in them is standing right there. And he remembers I have a foot fetish. We ain't talking about rodeo no more.
So I quickly snap my energy back to the attention back to the conversation. And we continue to talk about the rodeo. and there's leather involved and there's straps involved, and I'm not done yet.
You gotta get to the foot. Get to the foot.
How you gonna ant me and I'm not done with my conversation?
Go ahead.
So all these things that are running through my mind associated with this rodeo, all I could think of is cytometaphilia and all of those things being on her feet at one time.
Ooh.
So my date is back at the table. My friend is here and she asks, who is this? I decide to relieve the anonymity and reduce my stress by saying, I met this person at a foot fetish forum. He's here with his date, and we were just talking about where we met.
Yeah, because we met at this foot fetish forum. This is why I came out to him about my foot fetish, and that I'm into toes. I really like sucking them, rubbing them, putting them in food. But I digress. Really, I digress, because we're here on this date and I'm trying to make sure he don't out me. So I'm looking him dead in his eye and I'm like, don't you do it. Don't you freaking do it. I know I was checking out the redhead. You wanted to take the redhead home too.
No, that was a fail.
Barely at the end.
That was a fail. He already outed himself.
I lost.
He already outed himself.
So as I am hoping my friend doesn't out me, we invite him and his date to join the table, and our conversation kind of elaborates on the foot fetish and how we met and things of that nature. So we end up getting dessert to go, and we decided to have some foot fun.
As we're leaving the restaurant and paying the bill, my date says to me that she's really glad that she knew this about me, because she secretly has a foot fetish as well and didn't know how to introduce the concept.
Is that a good place to end?
Oh no, me and you keep going back and forth until one of us stops.
So she was.
But we got 5 seconds to. We got 5 seconds to get
5
to.
seconds.
Okay.
5 seconds.
So she was excited about the concept. So she was like, so she had mentioned, we have dessert. Let's do a squash party with everyone involved.
Didn't say foot. Bam, bam, bam.
Squash
it's a
party.
fetish.
I guess.
So I have to admit that squash parties aren't really my thing, but the idea of seeing her barefoot in an environment that she's willing to be open with the fetish intrigues me, and I can't wait to see the pads of her feet slowly squish this German chocolate cake into whatever is on the floor.
As we were fantasizing about the chocolate cake and the group play the group scene we were setting, we decided, let's try some hentai. When we were at that foot fetish forum, didn't you say, friend, that you knew hentai? Let's try some ankle and some foot ties. Hentai, I already said it. I'm done.
My buddy quickly dismissed that idea as he thought that would be too much too fast, and just having dessert to bring home is already enough. But his date is wearing socks and shit.
Yeah. Ha!
Man.
So
I had a list.
Give us our fucking game for next week. Yes, I love it. All right.
So I had a list of words that I was going down to try and like keep in tune with everything, and my next word was socks, and I was just like, how the hell?
That was a great game. I had a lot of fun with that. So here's the deal. If you want to hear more about how Kane got into his foot fetishism
and Phantom,
and how he figured it out, and you want to hear about Miss Sasha and the fact that she ain't into feet, but she'll let you play with her feet. All right. You want to hear about my stories and my personal feet fetish. I wasn't into feet, but now I may like it. Y'all gonna have to join our Patreon, okay? Head on over. I'm gonna put the link up on the end of this show so you know where to go. Head on over, join our Patreon, because there's things that we can talk about on our Patreon that we cannot talk about on YouTube without being banned. So join us over there where we can curse, scream, let it all out. All right, Mr. Kane, do you want to take us out on that note?
Yes. So good night, YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you're here, remember, like, subscribe. We're here every Friday. You guys know what it is. We enjoy spending time with you guys and bringing new concepts, new fetishes, new kinks to all of you guys. We certainly enjoy being here. We enjoy having you guys, and we hope that we entertain you. We hope that in all of our shenanigans, you're at least, at the very least, entertained. But for YouTube, that is it. We will be moving over to Patreon for Safe Word After Dark. Join us there. If not, always remember, have a good weekend, stay safe, and always remember your safe word. We'll catch you guys later. Good night.
Bye.
Everybody throw yourself on mute, and I'm gonna let you guys have the link right here so that you guys can see what, where, how, why, all that. Okay, ready? I'm gonna put this on for you. Give me just 2 seconds. Boom.